Hey YouTube, how's everything going today? Once again, it's Robert. I'm going to give you a tutorial on dodging and burning. Excellent technique, should be using it if you're a photographer, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or seasoned professional. If you're not dodging and burning your photos, you're missing out on a lot of good looking photos. I'm going to send this one out to the sharpshooters of New York. It's my Facebook group for photographers in the New York City area. I'm going to show them and share my techniques, and with anyone who's watching it, this is how I do it. This is going to be a real quick tutorial, hopefully, and let's get right to it. I'm assuming that most people are familiar with some aspects of Photoshop, so I'm not going to go to the beginning of tools and selecting. We're just going to go right through the motion. So first thing to do is bring up an image. Bring your image up. Okay, once you have your image up, just go right over here and slide it down, left click, grab it, and slide it over that little icon. It's going to duplicate the background. The reason we do that because we don't want to mess up the original. If that's the only one you have, we want to keep that intact. We'll be doing all our work on this copy right here. Okay, once you do that, we're going to go down to adjustment layers. I'm assuming that we know what adjustment layers are. This tutorial is more or less not on a beginner's level, but sort of like a low level and intermediate. You should know what these tools and these adjustment layers are about. We're going to go to curves. We're going to bring it up twice. 1, 2, click it. And we're going to name this one here. We're going to name this dodge, and we're going to name this burn. Okay, so I just named it dodge and burn. Now we're going to work on the layer palette. Make sure you have the layer part. This is the layer, this white little piece of looking paper is a layer, and this is just the adjustment, and this is a lock, so they're locked together. They go together. So we're going to work on this first. We're going to come up to the graph. We're going to bring it up so we can expose the highlights in the picture. And as you can see, there's a lot of highlights. There's more highlights than shadows. Okay, so we do that. Once we do that, we're going to invert the layer. Make sure that's selected. And on the Mac, we're going to hit Command I. PC is going to be Control I. And that's going to invert it. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go right over here to our little brush tool, select the brush, come up to the toolbox, make sure we have the hard brush selected. We want 0 hardness, and we're going to keep this real small, but for the sake of this tutorial so you can see it, we're going to keep the brush right about that size right there. So we're just going to actually just draw on these highlighted areas, the white areas here. We're just going to follow it, come down. Let's bring it all the way up there. It's easy to know. Now these are subtle changes. These are not major changes. Very subtle changes. We just want to bring these out. We got a little highlight right there. Or else on the forehead. Subtle changes. And we're going to do the same thing with the burn folder too. Now that we have some of these done, because I'm going quick, let's not forget the there's one right there. We're going to go right to this tab right here where it says mask. And we're going to feather that out. So this is where the magic starts. I know it looks crazy right now, almost like war paint. But let's feather that out a little bit. We got it right to 8. Now we're going to go out a little more. There we go. Now we can start to see it blending in. Blending in a little more. Very good. I think that looks good right there. We're going to actually go down to our opacity, bring it down a little bit so we can blend it even more. So we can actually go all the way down, turn it off, and bring it back in like a light bulb. I think that looks good right there. And we want to check that. So let's go to the eye, cut it off. So we can check the before and after. So let's bring the opacity up just a tad bit. And let's go back up to the feather. Bring it right there. Okay, now once we've done that, we're going to go to the burn. Now we'll go back to the adjustment tab. Let's bring that down so we can see the shadows. And then we're going to do the same thing, invert it. Same thing with our brush. We'll go over the shadow area right here on the cheek. Now what this is going to do to the cheek is going to make the dimples pop out a little bit. Just follow it all the way down. You don't have to be perfect with it. You know, you just want to actually bring out the shadows. That's going to make the photo pop out. You don't have to bring out every shadow. Just the ones that's going to make it pop out here. On this draw line, it should be nice. Bring out the draw line. There's a little shadow right here on the elbow. Once again, we go hit the mask up here, feather it out. I got it about 30. Right? Nothing. Let's see. 13. 20 starts to go out. I think it starts to look good around 29. So that's 29. Then let's go down to the opacity. Bring it down a little bit so we can do a little more blending. Okay, that looks good around 50. Yeah, that looks good around about 48% right there. So that looks good so far. So for me, most people finish right here, they'll be done. But for me, I'm going to go and add another adjustment layer and go down to Selective Color. And then we're just going to kind of like, you know, make the whole overall picture pop out. So we're going to start up here. As you see, it's selected for the color red. We're going to work with the reds. We're going to work with the cyan. And just go up or down. See what kind of, I like to go both ways. As you can see, there's not a lot of that in there. If you take it out, it's going to make the picture flat. I'm going to pop just a little bit in there. Then we're going to magenta. Pull it back so we can get some more reds. That's very extreme. And it also brings out the shadow more. This way, we don't want to do that. So I think around 29 looks good. Let's see what the yellow do for us. Let's go a little bit this way. That way, we don't make it like she has hepatitis. We don't want to do that. Let's take that out. Let's go a little bit to the left, +5. And then we're going to add the blacks. This is what I like. I like the black because it actually pulls it all together. Brings those shadows in. Almost gives her a tan too. So this is a nice way to give somebody a tan. I like it right about 40. But you can adjust it to your taste. So far, this looks good to me. So pretty much that's what it is. Not much to it. And then we just want to go over and right click it, flatten image. From this point on, you can save it. Let's compare it to the original. Now remember, these are subtle changes. This is the original. And this is the one we just worked on. As you can see, we got more tone. The highlights are there. More shadows. You can actually see the dimples a little bit better. Alright, so that's dodging and burning, the quick way. Obviously, you would take a little more time with your picture. Hopefully, this helped you out. I have more tutorials coming. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like. Don't like it, make a comment. It's all good for me. I'll see you next time.